Hey everybody, welcome back. This is some juicy family drama that made it to Am I the A-hole? Also, I would like the record to show that it is minus 30 here right now. So naturally, we're gonna pretend we're at the beach. My beach bod does not look like that under here. These were all from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Go follow that if you haven't already and share your stories. We got some new post flares going. We got some family feuds, friend feuds, relationship drama, just to inspire you guys, because I do want to start doing more Reddit. I just love it. So much fun. And apparently you guys like it too. Am I the a-hole for slapping my boyfriend's uncle because I thought he was gonna smash my face into my birthday cake? This one is from Take the Cake 2025. Appropriate screen name, I might add. Long time lurker. I haven't broken up with my boyfriend, nor do I want to, but I'm a cause of war in our family and friend circle, and I could use some outside perspective. Allow me to oblige. I, 24 female, have known my boyfriend Leo, 27 male, since his family moved to our neighborhood back when I was 5. His parents, Lupe and Juan, immigrated to the US shortly after they got married in their early 20s and had 3 kids here in the States. Our families bonded very well, and we'd have each other's families over for cookouts, birthdays, and holidays. When I was 6, Lupe and Juan helped my mom organize a birthday party for my dad. It was fantastic until it was time for the cake. Now, what I didn't know was that in Mexico, it's a tradition for the family and friends of the birthday boy or girl to shove their faces into the cake. No bueno. Me no likey, this tradition. Wait, is that actually a thing? Like, I'm sorry. Oh my God. The Mexican tradition of smashing the birthday person's face into their birthday cake is known as la mordida, which translates to the bite. This playful and messy custom is a popular way to celebrate birthdays in Mexico. Absolutely not! Okay, I understand it's a tradition, but like, there are certain traditions that maybe some people don't want to be a part of. There's plenty that like, we can appreciate about other people's cultures, but that doesn't mean that we also want to participate.
It's like death or taxes.
I can understand you feeling like apprehensive though, because it's like, I don't want to offend them, but like, I also don't want cake all over my face. Tough situation. So my dad blows out the candles and Juan's brother, Alejandro, a notorious practical jokester, shoved dad's face into the cake. I freaked out, not knowing what was going on, and was scared the candles had burned dad's face. Oh my God, they did it with the burning candles? Absolutely not. Dad was okay and reassured me that it was all in good fun. He and mom knew about the tradition and thought the other had told me what was going to happen. I feel like there should be, I don't know, like protocols, like maybe not have like open flames. Coming from someone who literally caught on fire over Christmas because of an open flame on a bar that I flicked my hair into. True story. No open flames near the face, the moneymaker. Afterwards, whenever it was my birthday and Leo's family was over, I would always worry that I was gonna have my face shoved into the cake. Fortunately, mom, dad, Lupe, and Juan understood that I was not okay with it and made sure nobody was anywhere near me to shove my face into the cake. I also learned years later that Leo would threaten his siblings and my brother that he'd punch anyone who shoved my face into the cake. Oh, period. Yes, queen. We love a man who defends your honor. Years passed and we became closer. And after that whole thing with dad, Alejandro started doing his best to make it up to me. He isn't a bad guy most of the time. His jokes are mostly on the funny side. One time he worked with my dad to put drywall over my bedroom door so it looked like they had made my room disappear. When my grandma passed away a decade ago, he was the first person to make me laugh. Leo and I didn't start dating until we both returned home from college. We went to separate schools in different states. We've been together for about 2 years now, and our relationship is pretty solid, aside from the usual arguments most couples have. We're seriously talking about getting married, but nothing is set in stone. Although Lupe likes to playfully tease Leo about taking so long to marry me. Oh, well, that's so fun, because that totally makes them and pressures them into wanting to do it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just makes them usually do the opposite. My birthday was yesterday, and Leo decided to organize a surprise birthday party for me with just our family and friends. He even made arrangements for me to go to a nearby spa/beauty salon to get a day of pampering. And my hair and makeup and nails were done before the party. And he even had his sister, Daniela, pick out an outfit for me. Okay, so this is why The cake smashing, when you spend all day getting ready, like let's say it's your birthday and you get your makeup done and your hair done, or it's your wedding and you've spent upwards of a few $100s in some cases getting your hair and makeup done. You don't want your face smashed into the cake. I wouldn't want that regardless, but like especially when you've had your hair and makeup done. I was pleasantly surprised. I knew Leo was planning something special for my birthday, but I was still amazed that he pulled out all the stops. And we were having a good time. We had drinks, good food, and we were just enjoying each other's presence. Soon, it's time for the cake, which Lupe had volunteered to make. And when I'm standing there, who do I see but Alejandro stepping next to me? I instantly had a bad feeling, remembering when he smashed my dad's face into his birthday cake all those years ago. I looked at Alejandro and said, if you try shoving my face into the cake, I will slap you so hard, you will be seeing the stars. I mean, that sounds like you're serious. He winked at me and told me that he wouldn't dream of such a thing, stepping to the side, making sure that he had enough space between us. The candles are lit and everyone is singing happy birthday. I'm smiling because people are recording and I'm just about to blow out the candles when I feel a hand on the middle of my back. I turn and there is Alejandro with a smile on his face that he usually gives right before he pulls a prank. I kept my word and I slapped him so hard. My hand hurt. What followed next can be described as chaos. Leo immediately starts yelling at Alejandro and has to be pulled away by Juan before he could deck Alejandro. Lupe and Mom are immediately checking on me to make sure I'm okay. Alejandro is proclaiming his innocence. He fully meant to shove your face into that birthday cake, like 100%. Or maybe he had something else in mind, but whatever he was up to, it wasn't good. As Juan and Dad are telling him to leave, and everyone who isn't involved are all demanding to know what's going on and why I slapped Alejandro. Fallout has been crazy. Leo, his parents, and my parents are all on my side, knowing Alejandro's love of practical jokes and of my fear of getting my face shoved into a cake. But there's a few other party attendants who think I overreacted, that I had no proof he was gonna smash my face into the cake. I think you acted quite well under the circumstances, and you did warn him, okay? Even if he wasn't gonna shove your face into the cake, he made you think that he was. I don't think I'm in the wrong for defending myself, but I'm wondering if I should have told Alejandro to move instead of telling him I would slap him. I mean, I guess.
Well, where's the fun in that?
Am I the a-hole for slapping Alejandro because I thought he was gonna smash my head into the birthday cake? I mean, no, you had reasonable cause to believe that he was going to smash your face into the birthday cake. And he also knew that he had to back away in order to make you feel safe. And then he came back. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I'm gonna go with no for now. It's not an absolutely not for me. It's like, you did smack him. Were there other ways to go about it? Like maybe we also could have pretended to smack him, but then he also could have still done it. We do have an update on this, by the way, but let's see what everyone else had to say. Not the a-hole. He was taunting you and wanted a reaction of you getting hysterical or crying. What he got was justified. Please don't invite him if you get married. Imagine what he can do with a wedding cake or a wedding dress and red wine. Do not apologize. The one who should apologize is him. Fair enough. Dude. The joke was either teasing you about smashing your face into the cake or actually doing it. Both warrants a slap in my opinion. Yeah, like, I mean, you clearly expressed a boundary that you really don't like it. Sometimes when people like taunt you, kind of like push your buttons because they know that you're triggered about something, you really don't like it, you've expressed to them you don't like something that they do. The taunting is almost like just as triggering, you know? Not the a-hole. He touched you without your consent, played on your anxieties, and ruined a special moment your boyfriend worked so hard to provide. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, this, even if he really, honestly, sincerely wasn't gonna go through with it, he did it to get a reaction out of OP. She warned him, he went through with it anyway, and lo and behold, she did exactly as she said she would.
Action, reaction.
How is he so surprised? Also, OP, your man is absolutely golden for standing up for you. As are both your families. If anyone gives you grief about what happened, tell them you don't know the full story. If both my and my fiance's family have my back, it should indicate that I was justified. That's all I have to say about this. I'm also sort of curious if Alejandro has apologized already. That's a good question. Not the a-hole, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Right, agreed. All we have to really go off of is like how you choose to behave in certain situations, okay? If you become someone who starts drama or is a quote unquote practical jokester, then people will come to expect that behavior from you. And listen, that's not their fault. You've given them ammo to believe that way. Act like an a-hole and people are gonna treat you like an a-hole. Bet he won't try that again? Oh, absolutely not. That is for certain.
You wanna see me do it again?
But we do have an update. I just wanna thank you all for your responses, both good and bad. I had a feeling that I was not the a-hole, but arguments were getting pretty bad. Although fortunately they have died down in the week or so since I made my initial post. I've got the tea and it's a surprise brew. Well, pour me a cup, bestie. I really should have a teacup prop somewhere around here, but I don't. I've got the hands, I've got the mallet, I've got the Oscar. Really? Thank you. Thank you so much. Sadly, no teacup.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Charlotte's also around here somewhere, but she gets a little feisty, so I keep her in the drawer. Leo and I are still together. Good. I like Leo. I like him a lot. He started calling me Reina. Ooh, what does that mean? My queen? Ooh, I like that. Cute. Ooh, I love that for you. He started calling me my Reina after reading the comments of how I'm a queen. He especially loved the one comment about how I was a lioness. Ooh. You are rather feisty. Like, I really like it. I like it. I've fallen more and more in love with him since he stood up for me. See, guys, this is how to get your girlfriend or fiance or wife to just defend your woman and defend your man, okay? It's hot. I know sometimes it's like, let's just play both sides. No, bestie. Do you want to get laid tonight? That's what I thought. Okay, where are we? I've been dropping hints about what I'd like in a proposal. Just make sure Senor Alejandro is nowhere near that. Alejandro asked to meet me in a neutral location a few days ago and to bring Leo with me if I wanted. Okay, so is this the apology, I hope? Or the attempt? I agreed because I wanted answers about what he was planning to do, and the three of us met up at a local Starbucks. It turned out that he didn't plan to shove my face into the cake. Okay, so what was he doing then? For context, the majority of the party was in the living room, which has a staircase leading up to the second floor. The staircase was open so you could see into the second floor. Alejandro had arranged with some relatives of his and Leo's who were standing on the second floor to drop balloons. Not water balloons or anything like that, but regular balloons over the railing as soon as I blew out the candles. Okay, so why are we putting hands on people's backs and like taunting them then? See, I had a feeling that maybe he wasn't going to like overtly smash your face into the cake and do something else. But like, I don't think that he should have been the one to like orchestrate the entire thing and be next to you. It's kind of hard. This is a tough situation. The signal to the relatives above to pick up the boxes was his holding up his hand so it looked like he was touching my back as the staircase was right behind me. However, he stumbled and put his hand on my back. Okay, this is definitely a major miscommunication. He also didn't tell Leo of his plan. Okay, also major mistake. Yeah. He admitted this was a dumb mistake. And when the relatives who thought Leo and I were in on it saw me slapping Alejandro, they got angry and upset and insisted that I was in the wrong. Yes, I see how things definitely went wrong here. I thought it was a very strange explanation and was ready to call him out on his BS, but Leo asked Daniela, who was one of the people filming on her phone, for her film, so we could verify that he was lying. And sure enough, we saw the relatives hefting up the boxes and you can clearly see balloons in them. A phone call with some of the relatives confirmed it. So it was one giant misunderstanding. Seriously, I thought I was in a really bad rom-com. Okay. Yeah. See, this is the thing about like being a practical jokester. You're the funny person in a friend group or a family dynamic, and people come to expect certain behaviors of you. Sometimes it's like we just genuinely don't know when you're joking or not. Like we just assume that everything to you is a joke. So this is the danger about being the jokester, all right? Because no one's ever gonna take you seriously when you're honest. I do feel like a jerk for slapping Alejandro because it was something that could have been cleared up. However, Alejandro has told me he has no hard feelings and that I did warn him. He did apologize, good, for not honoring the boundary and making me feel like he was gonna smack my face into the cake. I feel like you could also just be like, yeah, I'm sorry too. Like, I know that it's like, you know, you did what you had to do under the circumstances and you warned him and stuff, but like, considering it was a misunderstanding, I feel like a little, well, I'm sorry too is warranted in this scenario. Although he did look at Leo with a sheepish grin and told him, don't make her mad because when she says she'll slap you hard enough to see the stars, she's not kidding. Oh, I don't foresee Leo making you mad anytime soon.
Not that I'm into that stuff.
All is well, and Alejandro has promised to tell the organizer of the party next time so we can clear things up. Thank you all for reading my story. Sorry the tea wasn't scandalous, but all's well that ends well. Oh, I love a happy ending. There you are, my dear. You are not the a-hole. But like, I don't know. I feel like in this scenario, we can just be like, let bygones be bygones. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for going no contact with my sister after she made a pass at my husband? Go on. Buckle up. It's a bit long.
That's what she said.
I, 48 female, have been with my husband Mike, 52 male, for almost 14 years. Married for 8 years. My half-sister, let's call her Sherry, 58 female, moved down to our area a few years ago. She asked me to get her a job at the place both myself and my husband worked. I worked second shift, he worked third shift. I said I would see what I could do, but honestly, didn't put in any real effort because of her attitude and her flair for the dramatic. She likes to create drama, and when she's called out on it, she instantly becomes the victim. I know someone like this. We used to be friends. We're not anymore. She kept pushing against my husband's advice. I finally turned in her name to my supervisor for a job. She was hired almost instantly. Fast forward a few months, she'd been carpooling with me since I had to pass through her area on my way to work. It started with her wearing a particular perfume that would cause my allergies to go haywire. This is literally the only scent that makes me cough, sneeze, eyes water, and cause me to get a horrible headache. I asked her the first time she was wearing it what it was. She told me, then said, oops, I forgot. So sorry. I asked her not to wear it again on work days. She agreed, and the very next day, she didn't have it on. About halfway to work, she pulls out the bottle from her purse and proceeds to spray it in the air and lean forward in her seat. Oh, that sounds deliberate, bestie. So while you're driving, she did that, knowing it would cause you to sneeze, your vision to become impaired while you're driving. With her in the car. Oh, that's just stupid. You stupid. Of course, the vents cause it to circulate throughout my car. I instantly get a pounding headache and my eyes start watering, etc. I roll down all the windows and pull over. She started saying, we'll be late for work, to which I reply, I won't, and proceeded to order her out of my car. Ooh, bestie. She apologized profusely and tells me it won't happen again and that she wasn't even thinking about it. This is important to the story. About 2 weeks later, she came close to where I was working and shouted my name, then abruptly turned and started twerking. Yes, you read that white. Yes, you read that right. My 58-year-old half-sister was twerking in front of all my coworkers. I wanted to crawl under my workstation and unalive very slowly from embarrassment. Some things just can't be unseen. I was mortified. Later that night, we were working late, and as I went on break, my husband was just coming in, about to clock in. I kissed his cheek, as I don't do PDA at work, and took a quick break. As I was coming back in, I noticed Sherry sitting in the break room that usually only third shift used. Mike was standing around with his coworkers waiting to clock in. I stopped and spoke to him for just a moment, then headed back to work. Next day, I pick up Sherry for work. She's unusually quiet. As soon as I park, she opens the door and steps out. Then she starts spraying all that damned perfume on again, with my car door open, meaning the smell is overtaking the interior of my vehicle. I'm livid. I tell her to shut the f***ing door. You think that if you were wearing a perfume that literally like gave people a visceral reaction, you would stop wearing that and get a new one? Like, not just like to protect other people, but also because you f***ing stank. You stank. stanky. You so stanky people's eyes be watering, bestie. And then I get out and ask her why she would do that knowing I can't handle the smell. She states she knows I bought the cologne in the same scent for my husband and how she remembers me telling her it was his favorite. I explained that yes, I had purchased it for him, but found out after the fact that I was allergic, so he never wears it. She again states that it's still his favorite.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, I was a little dense at the time as I told her it didn't make any sense as to why she would wear it. Or does it? We parted ways and she went to her work area, as did I. When lunch break rolled around, I went outside to call Mike as usual to make sure he was awake. He asked me if I had spoken to Sherry, and I said, not really. Oh. He then explained to me the night before when I went back in from my last break that she made him feel uncomfortable. I asked him how. He said, well, you know how I look at steak on the grill when it's almost done? I said yes. He then said, like that. Oh, like you were a nice little snacky poo that she could just... She was looking at me like I was steak and kept licking her lips. Then she stuck her chest out and lowered her voice and said, hey, brother-in-law. He then finished by saying, if you would prefer, please tell her that it creeped me out and I don't think it's appropriate to wait until my wife leaves to speak to me. Wow. I would say no contact is definitely justified in this scenario. I was kind of stunned, but I told him I would take care of it. Just for reference, my husband is very masculine. He speaks his mind freely and without a filter. I've never known him to even stretch the truth, much less lie. I hung up the phone after telling him I love him, and I sat there trying to calm my temper before doing anything rash. A friend of mine sat beside me. Let's call her Monica. Monica asked me if I can talk for a second. I said sure, and she begins to tell me how Sherry was acting the night before and how she was poking her chest out while trying to sound smexy, saying, hey, brother-in-law. Wait, she was doing this in front of other people? Ew, you have like witnesses. And that she was staring at my husband like he was a glass of water in the middle of the desert. Then tells me I need to watch her around my husband. After our talk, I go inside and straight to the bathroom to splash some water on my face. And another co-worker, not a second witness, oh my goodness,
So uncivilized,
approaches me. In total, 4 co-workers approached me and warned me to keep my sister away from my husband. I was angry and embarrassed. Oh my. The sheer audacity to not only do this to your sister, but to also do it like in front of people. Oh, she jealous of you, honey. She wants your man, she wants your life. She even wanted to get that job just like you so she could be around your husband. Well, snip, snip. That night, I debated leaving her to find a ride home, but I knew I needed to confront her about this. So I waited. I stayed quiet for most of the drive as I was going to get her to her house so that we could discuss this in front of her husband. You didn't say she was married.
This changes everything.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention she's married to her husband Tommy for almost 20 years. But as we were getting closer to her house, she asks, is everything okay? You seem really quiet tonight. Did Mike say something to upset you? And I couldn't hold it in after that. I said, yes. Matter of fact, he did. He asked me to give you a message. This literally batted her eyes and said, really? What did he say? All excited. I told her that he asked me to talk to her because she creeped him out and told her verbatim exactly what he said. She automatically started denying it and asked if I really thought she would do something like that to me. I told her that common sense should have told her not to, but given her past, yes, I know she would. Peek into her past, my dad and I caught her with my brother's girlfriend. Oh, as in caught her.
You talking about having
She's just greedy. She wants everybody to be into her, man.
quite literally.
I hate people like this that are so desperate for romantic attention that they just go for people that, you know, just to like prove that they can get them. Could never be me. Can't relate. It's not a flex, okay? But there are for sure people like this that just need everybody to be obsessed with them. There's gotta be like a medical term for it or like a diagnosis or something because it's actually more common than you would think.
Well, I guess it's better than being called a bitch.
And more recently, she slept with our niece's husband and left her clothes beside their bed for proof. Oh, she messy, and like not in a good way. Like that is not becoming. Those kinds of people just think that like sex is like currency. Like they collect people as if they're like current. You gotta be bored as hell, man. Like if that's all you do with your spare time, She began raising her voice, trying to convince me that Mike was a list, and he was just trying to cause trouble between us. See? A list. He's on a list. I then explained how 4 of her work friends came to me with the same story, and then I told her she better lower her voice. She then says, I can't believe that you would listen to him over your own sister. I then told her that being my sister was the only thing keeping me from needing bail, a tow truck, and an ambulance right then. She looked at me strange before I explained that if it were anyone else, I would need bail and a tow for my vehicle, and she would need an ambulance. She got real quiet. When you're playing with people's feelings like that and people's lives, like, it's only gonna end like that. Like, I'm sorry. You're literally causing trouble in people's lives for no other reason than you like drama.
Well, that's why we're all here, isn't it?
And maybe you get you get off on like people's significant others being into you or cheating with you or whatever. You're asking to get smacked. I'm not saying I condone violence, but you are certainly asking for it.
Do it.
Just before I get to driveway, she says, if you really believe that I did that, then you can just let me out here. She almost ate the dash when I slammed on the brakes. She got out and walked home. This happened in 2021. She has everyone in our family trying to get me to reconcile or at least speak to her, as she has made herself out to be the victim. I'm not sure what she told them, but it clearly wasn't the truth. A lot has happened since then, but I refuse to feed into her drama. So, am I the a-hole for standing my ground and going no contact with my sister? Absolutely not. And if anybody has a problem with it, they can come and talk to you about it instead of just hearing one side of the story. And if they choose her, it's only a matter of time before she tries to hit on their husbands too. And apparently wives and girlfriends as well. So honestly, I don't even know if I need to hear from the audience on this one. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You are not the a-hole, my dear. And if anyone has a problem with it, tell them to come see me. Subscribe!